Welcome to BLearn online classes. Subject Economics MS09 Managerial Economics. Block 1 Managerial Economics means economics or the management of economy is a managerial economics. And now management, what is management? According to Kuhn and O'Donnell, define management as the creation and maintenance of an internal environment in an enterprise where individuals working together in groups can perform efficiently and effectively toward the attainment of group goals. As you know that every organization has fixed its goal, and this goal is achieved by the principles of management, by the functions of management, and same as economies or economics, management have taken steps to manage the economic principles, economic sources. Now scarcity of resources results from human wants are virtually unlimited, and economic resources to satisfy these demand are unlimited. So we can say that economics means allocation of limited resources to satisfy the unlimited want. Economics is the social science that studies the production, distribution and consumption of goods and services. Managerial economics, on the other hand, managerial economics is the use of economics mode of thought to analyze the business situations. Now we have to make choice, and the problems of economics are what to produce. That means what kind of product is required by the society. We have analyzed these problems. The most important problems, most complex problems in the world is what to produce. What to produce, what kind of the services, what kind of the product introduce to satisfy the demand of the society. The most important problems of the economics. Then second is how to produce. That means what kind of technology is used to produce the particular goods that we have decided in the questions of what to produce. We have received any answer, then how to produce such items or services. We have, as we know, that there are two types of technology we use to produce the goods. One is our capital incentive technology, another is labor incentive technology. If labor incentive technology is introduced by the organization, it needs more working capital, and if capital intensive technology is used by the organization, it needs more long-term capitals. And third one, for whom to produce, means who is the consumer for satisfying their demands. Who is a group of market, what is the market, and how much quantity they requires. All these questions answer is actually received by this question. So we can say that according to McNair and Merriam, managerial economics is the use of economic modes of thought to analyze business situation. According to Professor Evan J. Dougal, managerial economics is concerned with the application of economic principles and methodologies to the decision-making process within the firm or organization under a condition of uncertainty. Spencer and Segelman define it as the integration of economic theory with business practices for the purpose of facilitating decision making and forward planning by management. According to Rothwell, managerial economics is the application of economic theory and analysis to practice of business firms and other institutions. So, scarcity, unlimited choice and limited resources. As I have already explained that economics is allocation of limited resources to satisfying the unlimited one. So we have the unlimited choice but resources are limited, and economics suggests us the various modes to satisfying our unlimited demand. There are three problems arising in front of the economics. One is what to produce, means what kind of items is produced by the organization to satisfying the demand of the particular consumer. How to produce means what kind of technology is used, and for whom to produce means what kind of royal consumers are available into the market. Now, managerial economics is the use of economics mode of thought to analyze business situation. McNair and Merriam says, then managerial economics is concerned with the applications of economic principles and methodologies to the decision-making process within the firm or organization under the conditions of uncertainty. It is given by Professor Eva J. Douglas. Now, scope of the economics or managerial economics, objectives of the firm. The ultimate objective of firm is to earn maximum profit or profit optimization. Profit optimization is sole objective of every business. Every business firm want to earn maximum profit, by which the assets and revenue should be matched or equilibrium to each other. Then demand analysis means under these situations we have analyzed the demand of the consumers either for next period or for existing period. And forecasting means demand for the future period by using scarce resources allocation. Then production. Managerial economics is most important for the production purpose, to determining the inventory valuations, to determine the inventory levels like optimum level, minimum level, reorder level, economic ordering quantity, and production techniques, efficiencies of the production, effectiveness of the production, and input-output analysis. And cost analysis. Every organization want to earn maximum profit by reducing the cost. And economics suggests the way to reduce the cost and also classifying the different cost in a different manner. Now, pricing policy means how to determine the price of a product. It is given by the economics. Then inventory management, as you know that about 70% of total cost is associated only on inventory management of entire expenditures. So every management want to reduce the inventory cost or expenditures by applying various principles, various techniques and methods of the economics. Then investment or capital management, economics, the rules of economics is also important for the purpose of investment. Whenever we want to put money into third organization for earning or continuous earning, then economics suggests the way like making the portfolio or aware about the risk and uncertainty for future. Managerial economics and other discipline like microeconomics means the economics which is used to analyze a small group or small companies or at a level of household or individuals. Whereas macroeconomics is a study of economics not only for the national but also entire world with the nation, to determine either GDP, per capita income, monetary policy, fiscal policy, exim policy. All these things are concerned with the macroeconomics. Then operation research is also a part of the managerial economics. Under operation research we have determined the linear programming, optimum programming, simulation, queuing theory, inventory valuations, inventory models, assignment and transportation. Then theory of decision making is given by the management, what kind of decision is taken by the management to earn maximum profit or to achieve in the ultimate goal of the organization. Then statistics, managerial economics is also providing different tools to the statistics like time series analysis, regression analysis, probabilities, hypothesis. Then management theory and accounting. Management theory and accounting, and the purpose of management theory and accounting economics is very important to give their suggestions. Now microeconomics is a branch of economics that studies how individuals, households and firms and some states make decisions to allocate limited resources, typically in market where goods or services are being bought and sold. Macroeconomics. Macroeconomics is a branch of economics that deals with the performance, structure and behavior of a national or regional economy as a whole. Along with microeconomics, microeconomics is one of the two most general field in economics. Macroeconomists study aggregate indicators such as GDP, unemployment rate and price indices to understand how the whole economy functions. Now objectives of the firm: profit maximization. The sole ultimate objective of the firm is to earn maximum profit, as you know, and firm uses different kind of aspect to achieve their goals. Implicit cost, these are the costs reflected in cash outlays by the firm but are the costs associated with foregone opportunities. Such implicit costs are not included in the accounting statement but must be included in any rational decision making framework. For example, the owner invested rupees 1 lakh in the business. If this amount is invested in the riskless investment like in bank, it would return rupees 10,000, which is implicit at the rate of 10%. Alternative objective of firm. According to economist Robbins Maris, owner and managers have different utility functions to maximize, because owners want to maximum their wealth and managers want to maximum their profits. So managers utility function is equal to functions of salary, job, power, prestige and status, whereas owner's utility function is for output or output, maximum capital, profit and maximum of owner's share. Now firm's constraint. Resources are constant. Every firm has limited resources. Therefore, it is the constraint of firm to work on limited resources to satisfying the unlimited want. Legal constraint. Every firm working on a legal framework which is designed by the government of a particular nation. Then moral constraint means firm has also moral attitude toward the society. Then contractual constraint, as you know that every firm has the contract to third party for making any kind of the functions or activities, and the firm working as on the contract which is previously decided between the parties. The opportunity cost principle. The opportunity cost of anything is the return that can be had from next best alternative use. In other words, we can say that opportunity cost is a sacrificing cost that one alternate is sacrificed to getting the other alternate. So the production possibility curve reflects opportunity cost. Production possibility curve reflects the different combination of goods which an economy can produce given its state of technology and total resources, that is butter and gun. Whenever if we want to produce more butter, then definitely we have sacrificed the production of gun, and vice versa. Same as a food, we want to produce more computers rather than more food, then definitely we have reduced the food to productions of more computer. The quantity of foods which has to be sacrifices to produce an additional unit of computer is called opportunity cost of computers in terms of food. Increasing opportunity cost of computer means that to produce each additional unit of computer, more and more units of food have to be sacrificed. And this is the production possibility curve. Under x-axis computers is given and y-axis foods is given. Whenever you have produced FA food, then you have produced CA computers. If you want to produce more computers from CA to CB, then definitely you have to reduce the productions of food from FA to FB. And the end point is touched by a curve is called PPC, production possibility curve. By sacrificing one opportunity to get or to increasing more opportunity of others. And thank you for learning this session. Hello and welcome to BLearn online classes. Session number 2, subject MS09, block 2. Demand. Demand refers to the quantity of goods that consumers are willing and able to purchase at various prices during a given period of time. Now we think about the demand and desire. Desire is different from the demand, will is also different from the demand. Any desire or will becomes demand by using three things. One is availability of the goods, second is availability of the resources by which we want to purchase, and third one, the most important, is willingness to pay. If the willingness to pay is able by the consumers, then every demand, every desire or every bills become demand. So person's demand for a product means the demand over some appropriate time period. Demand function, whenever we have relate the demand or quantity demanded by the consumers by the factors that is influencing the demand is called demand function. The demand function sets out the variables which are believed to have an influence on the demand for a particular product. And symbolically, it can be derived as quantity demanded equal to functions of P0, PC, PS, YD, T, A, CR, R, E and O, where P0 price of the own product, PC price of the complementary product, PS price of the substitute product, YD disposable income, T taste, A advertising, CR availability of the credit, R rate of interest, E expectation of income and price, N number of potential consumers, O miscellaneous factors. All these are important for determining the quantity demanded by the consumers. And this is the curve of demand in which the supply is stable or constant. Then the demand is shifting from D1 to D2 by using the different kind of the change in price. As you see in this diagram, whenever the price is P1, then the quantity is demanded Q1, and when the price increase by from P1 to P2, then quantity is also increasing Q1 to Q2. Now, law of demand. Other things being equal, a fall in price leads to expansion in demand and a raise in the price lead to contraction in demand. In other words, we can say that other things being constant, then the price of commodities increase, then the demand is decreases and vice versa. So, there is a definite relationship between the demand and the price of the commodity whenever the other things being constant. And what is the other things? Other things are income of consumer, complementary goods, substitutions or substitute goods, fashion of the consumers, technologies, etc. So we can say that the inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded is called law of demand. And this is the diagrams of the demand curve. Demand curve means a relationship or a presentation between the price and quantity demanded by the consumer in a certain period of time is called demand curve. Like if you have seen the price is indicated in the y-axis and quantity is indicated on x-axis. Whenever the price of commodity is P0, then the commodity is demanded by the consumers on Q0. If the price increase from P0 to P1, then the quantities fall down from Q0 to Q1. So the quadrilateral of P0, P1, A is equal to the quadrilateral of Q1, Q0 and B. It is a demand curve. Now exceptions to law of demand. It states that with a fall in price, demand also fall, and with a raise in price, demand also raise. Or determinants of exceptions of law of demand. Number one, fear of shortage. If anybody have the fears about the shortage of goods, then we want to purchase today all the goods, or today the goods that we have required. Fear of future raise in price. If we have the fears of raise in price in future, then definitely we want to purchase the goods today without any thinking. Then speculation means a kind of investment in which we think that the particular commodity price is increased in future, so we have purchased more price for or to getting a more benefits by selling in future. Then conspicuous necessaries. If any necessaries arises, then the demand law is not applicable. If any emergencies arises, then also the demand curve is not applicable. Then ignorance of the price factors. Then we have purchased any commodity at any price, and in this case demand law is not applicable. The necessaries, any kind of necessaries like to purchasing the medicines, this is a necessary, and any cost increases of the medicines, but we want to purchase these medicines. Now change in shift in demand curve. If demand change not because of price change but because of other factors, then in that case there would be either increase or decrease in demand. If demand changes by the other factors like income of consumer, technology, change of technology, substitute goods, complementary goods, then if the demand is increases, then it is called increase in demand. If demand is decreases, then it is called decrease in demand. You should be noted that increase and decrease of demand is take place only to the change of other things, not the change in price. For example, at a price Rs15, the initial demand of the cold drink is 10,000 units. If demand increases, reaches to 12,000 units due to the summer or any other factors, with the same price, it will be known as an increase in demand curve. Like this one, if the price remains same, like as P1 given in the diagram, and demand at initial stage would be D1, but after some period of time it becomes D3 and also D2. It is called shift in demand, either increase or decrease in demand. If demand curve shift from D1 to D3, that means the demand is decreases. If demand curve shift from D1 to D2, it means the demand is increases. Now elasticity of demand. It is defined as the responsiveness or sensitiveness of the demand to a given change in the price of commodity. In other words, we can say that the responsiveness of price to change the quantity demanded by the consumer. Whenever if we have changed the price at 10% of a particular commodity, then the quantity reduced by 10% or more or less or no effect. This is the difference between the existing quantity demanded by the consumer to the current demand of the quantity by the consumers at the different changes level of price of the commodity. It shows the reactions of one variable with respect to a change in the other variables on which it is dependent. It is an index reactions between the quantity and demand. Now kinds of elasticity of demand. Number one, price elasticity of demand. Number two, income elasticity of demand. Number three, cross elasticity of demand. And now price elasticity of demand. Price elasticity of demand measures the responsiveness of the sold to change in ceteris paribus, or according to ceteris paribus, price elasticity of demand measures the responsiveness of the sold to changes in quantity demanded, and it can be symbolically formulated as EP equal to percent change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. Different degree of price elasticity of demand. Number one, EP equal to 0, it is called perfectly inelastic, in which there is no effect to change the price. Then EP less than 1, relatively inelastic, that means if the price is change more but quantity is not change equal to the change in price. Then EP equal to 1, that means the percentage change of price is equal to the percent change in quantity. Then EP greater than 1, that means relatively elastic, that means if you have changed the 10% price but quantity change more than 10%, it is called relatively elastic. Then EP is infinity, that means perfectly elastic, that means if we have no change in the price but the demand is changing. Now this is the diagram of perfectly elastic of demand, in which the price remain constant at every level of the quantity demanded by the consumers. Like if you have purchased 50 units, then the price is $15, 100 units price $15, 150 price $15, 200 price $15, 250 quantity or 250 units, then the price remain same. Then relatively elastic demand, as you seen in this diagram, that the price or quadrilateral of price is smaller than the quadrilateral of quantity. That is relatively elastic demand. Unitary elastic demand, that means the quadrilateral of change in price P0 to P1 and the quadrilateral of change in quantity Q0 to Q1 is equal. Therefore, if you have changed the price at 10%, then quantity is also changes up to 10%, and it is also called EP equal to 1. And now another forms of the price relatively inelastic, wherever the more change in price but quantity change in less, and it is EP less than 1. Then another form, the price increases whatever the level but the quantity demanded remains same. For example, demand of milk. As you know that demand of milk is a multiple demand or multiple product demand. Under that situations, price increasing day to day but the quantity demanded remain same, and it is called EP equal to infinity. Perfectly inelastic demand. Now determinant of price elasticity of demand, or the things that determine the price elasticity. Number one, nature of the demand. Nature of the demand or nature of the product. Nature of product can be classified in two categories, either durable product and non-durable product. If product is durable, then the demand always be inelastic. If the product is non-durable, then demand is elastic. Existence of substitutes. If substitutes is available, then definitely that elasticity is change. The number of users of the commodity. If there are so many users of the commodity, then responsiveness of price is also in differential states. Durability and less repairability of the commodity, then possibility of postponing the use of a commodity, level of income of the people, then range of the price, and last one is habits. Then existence of complementary goods. Now measurement of price elasticity of demand. There are three methods to measure the price elasticity of demand. Number one, arc price elasticity. Number two, point elasticity. And number three, advertising elasticity. Point price elasticity, Professor Marshall advocated these methods. The point methods measures price elasticity of demand at different points on a demand curve. and symbolically it can be presented as percentage change in demand divided by percentage change in price, or delta Q upon delta P multiply P upon Q equal to elasticity or price elasticity of demand. When elasticity is measured over an interval of a demand curve, the elasticity is called as an interval or arc elasticity. Arc elasticity equal to Q2 minus Q1 upon Q2 plus Q1 multiply P2 plus P1 divided by P2 minus P1. Income elasticity of demand. Income elasticity of demand may be defined as the ratio or proportionate change in the quantity demanded of a commodity to a given proportionate change in the income. So EI equal to percentage change in demand divided by percentage change in income. EI can be positive, negative or zero. When EI is positive, the commodity is normal used in day-to-day life. When EI is negative, the commodity is inferior like jowar, bidi, cigarette, etc. When EI is positive and greater than 1, the commodity is luxury. When EI is positive but less than 1, the commodity is essential. When EI is 0, the commodity is neutral like salt, matchbox, etc. Now cross price elasticity. It may be defined as the proportionate change in the quantity demanded of a particular commodity in response to a change in the price of another related commodity. So elasticity or cross elasticity equal to percent change in quantity demanded of a commodity X divided by percent change in the price of commodity Y. Now advertising or promotional elasticity of demand. Advertising elasticity refers to the responsiveness of demand or sales to change in advertising or other promotional expense. EA equal to percent change in demand or sales divided by percent change in advertising expenditure. Now demand forecasting. General consideration factor involved in demand forecasting. Number 2, purposes of forecasting. Number 3, determinants of demand. Number 4, length of forecast. Number 5, forecasting demand for new product. 6, criteria of a goods forecasting method. Then presentation of a forecast to the management. Then role of macro level forecasting in the demand forecast. After that, recent trend in demand forecast. Then control and management of demand. Now methods of forecasting, approach to forecasting. Accurate demand forecasting is essential for a firm to enable it to produce the required quantities at the right time and arrange well in advance for the various factors of production, that is raw material, equipment, machines, accessories, labor, building, etc. Because if it is a wrong demand forecasting, then definitely we have suffered a huge amount of loss. So it is necessary to forecasting the demand in accurate manner. In a developing economy like India, supply forecasting seems more important. However, the situation is changing rapidly. It is given by the National Council of Applied Economic Research. Now, factor involved in demand forecasting: how far ahead? Long term, that is petroleum, paper, shipping, tactical decisions within the limits of the resources already available. Short term, close strategic decision extending or reducing the limits of resources. Now factors involved in demand forecasting undertaken at 3 levels: macro level, industry level and firms level. Under macro level, we have think about of national and international level. Industry level, we think about the industries or group of companies, and under firms level, we think about the firms only. Should the forecast be general or specific, product wise? Problems or methods. Problems or methods of forecasting for new wise well established products. Classification of product: producers goods, consumer durables, consumer goods services. And our special factors peculiar to the product and the market, risk and uncertainty like leverage stresses. Purpose of forecasting. Purpose of short-term forecasting are appropriate production scheduling, reducing cost of purchasing raw material, determining appropriate price policy, setting sales target and establishing control and incentives, evolving a suitable advertising and promotional campaign, forecasting short-term financial requirements. Now, purpose of long-term forecasting. A. Planning of new units or expansion of an existing unit. B. Planning long-term financial requirement. C. Planning manpower requirements. Demand forecast of a particular products form guidelines for related industries, that is cotton and textiles, also helpful at the micro level. Now, determinants of demand, non-durable consumer goods, purchasing power, disposable personal income, direct taxes and other deductions published by CSO, discretionary income like disposable income less imputed income and income in kind, major or fixed outlays payment, essential expenditures such as foods and clothing. B. Price, demography like D is equal to the functions of YDP, that is cotton cloths versus cost of goods, food grain. Now, durable consumer goods, choice between using the goods longer by repairing it and disposing it off and replacing it with a new one. B. Require special facilities for their use, that is roads for automobiles, household demand versus individual demand, family characteristics. Total demand consists of a new owner demand and replacement demand, scrapages rate, F. Price and credit conditions. Number 3. Capital goods used for further production. Demand will depend upon the specific market they serve and the end usage for which they are bought. Data required for estimating the demand for capital goods, the growth prospects of the user industries, the norms of consumptions of capital goods per unit of installed capacity and the velocity of their use. Now, length of forecasts. Short-term forecast up to 12 months, that is sales quotas, inventory control, production schedules, planning cash flows and budgeting. Medium terms 1 to 2 years, rate of maintenance, schedule of operation, budgetary control over expenses. Long term like 3 to 10 years, capital expenditure, personal requirement, financial requirements, raw material requirements, etc. Most uncertain in nature. Now, forecasting demand for new product. Joel Dean, project the demand for a new product as an outgrowth of an existing old product. Analyze the new product as a substitute for some existing product or services. Estimate the rate of growth and the ultimate level of demand for the new product on the basis of the pattern of growth of establishment or established product. Forecasting demand for new product. Estimate the demand by making direct inquiries from the ultimate purchasers either by the use of samples or on a full scale. Offer the new product for sale in sample market by direct mail or through one multiple shop organization. Survey consumers' reactions to a new product indirectly through the eyes of specialized dealers who are supposed to be informed about consumers' need and alternative opportunity. Criteria of a good forecasting methods. Accuracy measured by degree of deviations between forecasts and actuals, and B. The extent of success in forecasting directional changes. Second, simplicity and ease of comprehension. Third, economy. Fourth, availability. And fifth is maintenance of timeliness. Now, presentation of a forecast to the management. In presenting a forecast to management, a managerial economist should make the forecast as easy for the management to understand as possible. Number 2, avoid using vague generalities. Number 3, always pinpoint the major assumptions and sources. Number 4, give the possible margin of error. Number 5, avoid making undue qualifications. Number 6, omits details about methodology and calculations. And number 7, make huge chart and graphs as much as possible for each comprehension. In presenting a forecast to the management, now role of macro level of forecasting and demand forecast. Various macro parameters found useful for the demand forecasting. Number 1, national income and per capita income. Number 2, saving. Number 3, investment. Number 4, population growth. Number 5, government expenditure. Then taxation, and last one is the tax policy. Recent trend in demand forecasting. More firms are giving importance to demand forecasting than a decade ago. Since forecasting requires close cooperation and consultations with many specialists, a team spirit has developed, because it is very complex task to forecasting the demand and requirement in future, because future is uncertain and we are thinking about lot of factors. They are responsible to accuracy of the demand forecasting. Number 3, better kind of data and improved forecasting techniques have been developed. Number 4, there is a greater emphasis on sophisticated techniques such as using computers. Number 5, new products forecasting is still in infancy. Forecasts are usually broken down in monthly forecast. Number 7, in spite of the applications of newer and modern techniques, demand forecasts are still not too accurate. Number 8, the usefulness of personal feel or subjective touch has been accepted. Number 9, top-down approach is more popular than bottom-up approach. Now, control or management of demand. The key to management of demand is the effective management of the purchases of final consumers. The management of demand consists in devising a sales strategy for a particular product. It also consists in devising a product or features of a product around which a sales strategy can be built. Product design, model change, packaging and even performance reflect the need to provide what are called strong selling points. Now, methods of demand forecasting. Delphi methods, expert opinion, collective opinion, naive models, smoothing techniques, moving average, exponential smoothing, analysis of time series and trend projection, use of economic indicators, controlled experiment, judgment approach. Now, methods of demand forecasting. Though statistical techniques are essential in clarifying relationship and providing techniques of analysis, they are not substitutes for judgment. What is needed is some common sense means between pure guessing and too much mathematics. It is also known as opinion survey, useful when consumers are industrial producers. However, a number of biases may creep up, not very useful for household consumers. Limitation passive and does not expose and measures the variables under management control. Delphi methods. It consists of an effort to arrive at a consensus in an uncertain areas by questioning a group of experts rapidly until the result appear to coverage along a single line of the issue causing disagreement are clearly defined. Developed by Round Corporations of the USA in 1940 by Olf, Helmer, Delphi and Gordon, useful in technological forecasting or non-economic variables. Delphi methods. Advantages: facilitates the maintenance of anonymity of the respondents' identity throughout the course, then saves time and other resources in approaching a large number of experts for their views. Now, limitation and presumptions. Panelists must be rich in their expertise, possess wide knowledge and experience of the subject, and have an aptitude and earnest dispositions toward the participants. Number 2, presupposes that its conductors are objective in their job, possess ample abilities to conceptualize the problems for discussion, generate considerable thinking, stimulate dialogues among panelists and make interferential analysis of the multitudinal views of the participants. Now expert opinions or hunch method. To ask expert in the field to provide estimates like dealers, industry analyst, specialist marketing consultant, etc. Its advantages are very simple and quick method. Number 2, no danger of a groupthink mentality. Number 4, collective opinion methods, also called sales force pulling. Salesmen are required to estimate expected sales in their respective territories and section. Its advantages are number 1, simple, no statistical techniques is required. Number 2, based on first-hand knowledge. Number 3, quite useful in forecasting sales of new product. And its disadvantages are number 1, almost completely subjective. Number 2, usefulness restricted to short-term forecasting. Number 3, salesmen may be unaware of broader economic changes. Number 5, naive models. Naive forecasting models are based exclusively on historical observations of sales or other variables such as earning, cash flow, etc. They do not explain the underlying causal relationship which product produces the variables being forecast. Its advantages are inexpensive to develop, store data and operate. Disadvantages are does not consider any possible causal relationship that underlies the forecasted variables. Naive models to use actual sales of the current period as the forecast for the next period, then yt plus 1 equal to yt. If we consider trend, then yt plus 1 equal to yt plus yt minus yt minus 1. If we want to incorporate the rate of change rather than the absolute amount, then yt plus 1 equal to yt bracket yt upon yt minus 1. Smoothing techniques, higher forms of naive models. Number A, moving average are average that are updated as a new information is received. With the moving average, a manager simply employ the most recent observation drops the oldest observation in the earlier calculation and calculate an average which is used as the forecast for next period. Limitation, one has to retain a great deal of data. All data in the sample are weighted equally. Exponential smoothing uses weighted average of past data as the basis for a forecast, like yt plus 1 equal to ayt plus 1 minus a into yt, or y equal to a y old plus 1 minus a y old, where y new exponentially smoothened average to be used as forecast. Y old equal to most recent actual data, y old equal to most recent smoothened data or smoothened forecast. A smoothing constant, and smoothing constant or weight has a value between 0 to 1 inclusive. Exponential smoothing. The following rules of thumb may be given. When the magnitude of the random variables is large, give a lower values to A so as to average out the effect of the random variations quickly. Number 2, when the magnitude of the random variations is moderate, a large value can be assigned to the smoothing constant A. It has been found appropriate to have A between 0.1 and 0.2 in many systems. Advantages of its exponential smoothing is a forecasting method easy to use and efficiently handled by computers. Although a type of moving average techniques, it requires very little record keeping of past data. This method has been successfully applied by bank, manufacturing companies, wholesalers and other organizations. And now analysis of time series and trend projection. The time series relating to sales represents the past pattern of effective demand for a particular product. Such data can be presented either in a tabular form or graphically for the further analysis. The most popular method of analysis of the time series is to project the trend of the time series. A trend line can be fitted through a series either visually or by means of a statistical technique. The analyst chooses a plausible algebraic relation, linear, quadratic or logarithms, etc. between sales and independent variables, time. The trend line is then projected into the future by extrapolation. Popular because simple, inexpensive. Time series data often exhibit a persistent growth trend. Disadvantage: these techniques yield acceptable results so long as the time series shows a persistent tendency to move in the same direction. Whenever a turning point occurs, however, the trend projection breaks down. The real challenge of forecasting is in the predictions of turning point rather than in the projections of trends. Analysis of time series and trend projection. Four sets of factors like secular trend T, seasonal variation S, cyclical fluctuation C, irregular or random forces I, and O stand for observation. So O equal to TSCI. These assumptions are: number one, the analysis of movement would be in the order of trend, seasonal variations and cyclical changes. Number two, facts of each component are independent of each other. Use of economic indicators. The use of this approach-based demand forecasting on certain economic indicators. Number one, construction contract sanction for demand of building materials, say cement. Number two, personal income for the demand of consumer goods. Number three, agricultural income for the demand of agricultural input, implements, fertilizers, etc. And number four, automobiles registrations for the demand of car, accessories, petrol, etc. Steps for economic indicators. See whether a relationship exists between the demand for the product and certain economic factors. Number two, establish the relationship through the methods of least square and drive the regression equation y equal to a plus bx. Once the regression equation is derived, the value of y demand can be estimated for any given value of x. Past relationship may not recur, hence need for value judgment. Use of economic indicators. Limitation. Finding inappropriate economic indicators may be difficult. Number two, for a new product, no past data exists. Number three, works best when the relationship of demand with a particular indicator is characterized by a time lag. That is, construction contract will result in demand for building materials, but with a certain amount of time lag. Controlled experiment. Under this method, an effort is made to vary separately certain determinants of demand which can be manipulated or price advertisement, etc., and conduct the experiment assuming that the other factors remain constant. Example, Parker Pen Company, still relatively new and untried. Number one, experiment are expensive as well as time consuming. Number two, risky, may lead to unfavorable reactions on dealers, consumers, competitors, etc. Number three, great difficulties in planning the study, difficulty to satisfy the conditions of homogeneity of markets. Number 10, judgment approach, required when analysis of time series and trend projections is not feasible because of wide fluctuations in sales or because of anticipated change in trend. Use of regression methods is not possible because of lack of historical data or because of management's inability to predict or even identify causal factors. Even statistical methods require supplementation of judgment. Even the most sophisticated statistical method cannot be incorporate all the potential factors. That is a major technological breakthrough in product or process design. For industrial products, if the management anticipates loss or addition of few large buyers, it could be taken into account only through judgment approach. Statistical forecasts are more reliable for larger level of aggregations. Approach to forecasting. Identify and clearly state the objectives of forecasting. Number two, select appropriate methods of forecasting. Number 3, identify the variables. Number 4, gather relevant data. Number 5, determine the most probable relationship. Weight ratio of company sales to total industry sales will continue as in the past. On the basis of an analysis of likely competitions and industry trend, the company may assume a market share different from that of the past. Alternative or rolling forecast. Number 7, forecast may be made either in terms of units or sales in rupees. Number 8, may be made in terms of product groups and then broken for individual product. Number 9, may be made on annual basis and then divided month-wise, etc. Approaches. And thank you for learning and participating of online classes, block number 2, session number 2. Thank you.